All right, with that being said, let's dig in. February the 23rd, Singles and Couples Relationship Seminar. I want to get a little bit in tonight. I really want to get into some gender differences because this is one of the things that causes a lot of problems. We don't understand one another as it relates to our gender differences. Someone wrote a book some years ago, many years ago. I remember this book when I was just a young buck in school, titled, I think it was Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. I'm telling you, conceptually, he's on point, meaning of how we think so differently. And oftentimes, we have a lot of conflict in male-female relationships because we really don't see things the same way. And we can't understand why the other one don't see it the way we see it, without realizing God chose to make us distinctively different for a reason. Now, you got to talk to him about why he did that when you get to heaven, but he did. So, but you have to learn to accept that in order to move efficiently and effectively. You got to learn female. If you're going to be a woman in a healthy relationship with a man, you got to learn male. And this is what the problem is. We want everyone to conform to where we are. And that's where the misconception, that's where the disconnect is at. Because that's not the way it works. I know, I get it. I wish it worked that way too, but it don't. Let me start with a quote. A great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together. It is when an imperfect couple learns to enjoy their differences. Dave Murrow. I'll repeat that. A great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together, because that's never going to happen because nobody's perfect. It's when an imperfect couple learns to enjoy their differences. Why is that important? Let me start right here. Let me think of something irked my wife about me. Let me just think of something. Okay, watch this. Because what I want you to see, oftentimes the same thing that irks you later are the same thing that drew you to the person. It's something about that you admire, that you like. It's just that you can't turn it off and turn it on when you get ready. She might be on some. You just think you always right. Well, you got to be right out there. You think you always got to be right. You think you always right. And that's in the middle of something that we disagreeing about. But there may be another time in life where she comes to me with a situation, really looking for some perspective, and God may use me to share some wisdom that brings about a solution that solves the problem. In that point in time, she glad I'm right. It's just the first example that came to me. Okay, I'll use one. Let me say what irks me. Sometimes I'm like, man, slow down, man. You move too fast. Like, golly, you always got to be busy. You can't just chill. It's okay. But then let it be a time. My back is against the wall. I need this, and this done. I don't know how I'm going to get it done. I love that about her in that moment. She's bringing it all together. She's helping my life work. But you don't get to pick when you turn them on and off in those instances. I am who I am. I'm not just that way when it's convenient for you. This is what I'm talking about. The same thing we fight about is the same thing I appreciate. It's just all about in what moment we're talking about. Because at one moment, that gift irks me. In another moment, that gift blesses me. It's all or nothing. And yes, we can all learn balance and so on and so forth. But I just wanted you to see that as an example. Watch this. Let me give another quote. Dr. Miles Monroe. I think this was Monroe. He says, the greatest problem is that husband and wives don't know that the needs of their spouse are different from their own. I'm going to say that again, then I'm going to explain it again. The greatest problem is that husband and wives don't know that the needs of their spouse are different from their own. Case in point, I just don't understand. Like, why would you do that? Like, I would never do that. When it was you, didn't I do X, Y, Z? So why wouldn't you do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. I would never do. Why? Don't understand that the needs of their spouse are different from their own. How often am I giving what I want, and then I'm upset when you didn't give what I gave, not knowing what I gave you didn't need? I ain't saying you aren't appreciative of it, but your life wouldn't have changed without it. But I'm expecting that because I gave that. But you didn't even know that I need that because you don't need that. So it's not a no-brainer for you to give it because you don't need it. It's a no-brainer for me to give it because I'm like, this is what you do. No, this is what I do. Let me see if I can explain that another way. The situation I was dealing with recently, a couple. This particular relationship, just dating, not married, but exclusively dating. She's upset with him because she mentioned she was going not out of town like plane out of town like drive out of town, for a funeral for a family member that, she really liked. Lived out of town, but really liked this family member. And he was, okay, I'm sorry to hear that, blah, 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 blah. I'm praying for you. Hit me up when you get back. She goes, comes back, extremely upset, attitude. He's lost. Why are you mad? I can't believe you didn't even offer to go with me. I was going. How could you not offer to even go with me? I told you how close they were to me. I told you this. I told you that. You didn't even ask to go. He said, well, you didn't ask me to go. I didn't know you wanted me to go. If you would have asked me to go, I was trying not to intrude. I know you with your family. I know you. Whoa. I'm trying to give you, that space for y'all. I'm trying not to be the intruder in the situation. If you wanted me to go, why didn't you say something? I shouldn't have to say nothing. Everybody know. Da-da-da-da. Now, let me tell you what I know about this gentleman, because I know him a lot more than I know her. Just met her, been knowing him for a long time. He's a loner. He grew up in foster care. He didn't grow up around family, like, biological family support system. We do this. He deals with things privately and intimately on the regular. He's the type, when he's going through something, he might disappear for a minute. And he come back out when he's cool. Because he kind of processed differently. He's not used to all of that. He don't do that. So while she's thinking he's so selfish and unthoughtful and uncaring, and how could you not? He don't know. In his world, they don't do that. What's natural for you is completely unnatural for him. But the problem is people don't see the world as it is. People see the world as they are. And you assume this is it. Everybody know. No, everybody don't know. You speaking from the world you grew up in. And when I say the world, I mean your dynamic, your family situation, your experiences, your past. The person that lived next to you has a whole different story of how they got to where they are. And we keep making these assumptions based on how we are. Because when it was you, remember when I heard when you was going through that, wasn't I? And in his mind, she don't know. Yeah, you was kind of crowding me. Not that I know it's unappreciative, but to a certain point, I was like, when you going home? Because I need to, he wasn't allowing himself to process with you. Because that's unfamiliar to him. He's waiting on you to leave so he can really grieve. Because in your mind, no, when I'm grieving, I need support. In his mind, when I'm grieving, I need a minute. Our needs are different. But through the lack of communication and assuming that someone is like I am, I'm going to think the worst of your decision. Because I know for me not to ask you to go means I don't want to deal with you. That's what that action would have meant if I did that act. So I'm assuming that's what the act meant when you did the act. I didn't know the act meant for you. Oh, yeah, she's with her family. They probably need this time alone. This time, woo-woo, when she get back, I'm here. Da-da-da-da. He's thinking he's being respectful. He's being respectful. All the time not knowing you're seeing that as disrespectful. Can you see how this goes down every single day? Because we never communicate. Because the truth is, now, if she would have communicated, I know you got a lot going on, but it means a lot to me if you're able to make it because I could really use your support. Oh, you want me to go? Okay, let me see what I can do. Because I thought it would be the opposite. And watch this, the same way. Let's reverse it on him. Instead of assuming he wants you all up on the hill while you're going through it. Hey, listen, I want to support you, so let me know. Do you need some time to yourself? Do you want me to come over? I don't want to assume anything. Like what's your desire? I understand if you need some time, and also if you want some company, I'm here. You assume he wants you up under him the entire time he's going through this because that's what you would want. This is what gets me when people want you to want what they want. And they view that as you love and caring for them. That's not love and caring for them, me being just like you. Like here, I've shared this with a lot, and this is a gender perspective, but I've seen this happen a lot. I've shared this with a lot of women for many years because I've known a lot of women that don't want the man to do it if they don't believe he really wants to do it. Like, yeah, I want you to do it if you don't want to do it. So you want me to be like you. Because, see, I want to make this clear because I want you to understand you may not be understanding his love. Here's an example. Until God give me a better example, I'm going to keep using this one. Here it is. Game come on Sunday. You asked me 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever. You asked me, hey, my niece, my sister had another child, and they doing my niece's birthday party on the third Sunday at 3 o'clock. I want to go and da-da-da. Ain't no problem. Cool, yeah, we go down there. the niece finna be 1. She ain't gonna know you there. But you wanna go, family care, cool, no problem. He ain't got no problem with supporting you. You wanna go see your niece, you wanna go be with your family, you wanna go up there with your mom and them, cool. He ain't realizing that's the first week of the playoffs. And Dallas up in there, he ain't realizing this. He ain't realizing this. Now when it comes, say the Mavericks. That was funny. She said, so what happens, that day comes, you know, she's like, hey, don't forget, tomorrow we're going to leave around 2. We leaving around 2 for what? You know, we're going out to San Bernardino. What are we going to San Bernardino? Remember what? Why? You got plans? Say, yeah, me and the homies. We're going to Buffalo Wild Wings. We're watching the game. All home. She said, so you go with me to my niece's birthday party? Your niece? Yeah, I told you about it. That's tomorrow? Yeah, you promised me you was going to go with me. Yeah, I did. All right. Now, we get out of church Sunday. He on the way home because y'all got to go pick up stuff that you got to take. Getting ready to go. You get in the cooler, you put it in the back of the trunk. You be like, are you all right? Yeah, girl, I'm good. Come on, let's go. You ain't acting like you all right. Hey, look, I'm good. Let's go. You acting like you don't want to go. Ain't I going? Did I say I didn't want to go? No, but I see the way you acting. You acting like you don't want to go. Let's tell me, do you not want to go? No, just tell me. All I want to know, do you want to go? No, I don't want to go. But I told you I was going, so I'm going. Now get in the car. Let's go. No, see, I don't want you to go like that. You don't want to go. I don't want you to go. So you can stay here. That's how you gonna go. You gonna be. I'm not gonna be acting like that. I know how to act around your family. Let me get over the fact that I ain't finna go watch the game with the homies like I want to. I'll be all right by the time I get there. I'll be in there with your drunk uncle. We watch the game together when we get there. So just can we get in the car and go? No, you act like I don't want you to go like that. You ain't gotta go. You can stay here. Me and the kids go by ourselves. Hey, listen, are you gonna get in the car? No, give me the keys. We'll go myself. Baby, get in the car. No, I'm not going with you like this. Go with your friends. Go. I'm gonna ask you one more time to get in this car. No, I'm not going with you like this. We leaving. Go ahead. Go do what you want to do. We go by ourselves. We don't need you no way. All right, I'm going to holler. Now, here's where the problem comes. In her mind, this is my family. This is my brand new niece that ain't going to remember none of this, not even tomorrow, today. But in her mind, my mama gonna be there, pops gonna be there, uncle, my auntie, my other sister, they driving over from Diamond Bar, they gonna be there, it's gonna be good. And we got that. And you should be happy to be there with me as your. And the thing is, because he doesn't want to go, that's the problem, because you should want this. Because of what it says about family. Here is where the issue comes down. And this is what I think you're not really seeing. I can respect the fact that you have a man that does not want to go. But because of how he feels about you, and because of how he feels about his word and his commitment, and he's finna deny his emotional state. He's finna put that on the burner. I want to be with the homies once again. That's going to be more fun. But this means more to my wife. And because my wife means more to me than my fun, I'm going to sacrifice what I want for what you need. Love. And what else shows love more than sacrifice. If you got a man who only does what he want to do, what kind of life you think you finna be living? If he really moved like that, baby, you promised me you was going there yesterday. Yeah, but I changed my mind this morning. I don't feel like it. I ain't going. Is that what you really, like what kind of life does that look like? Because feelings come all the time. I consider myself a man of integrity because I don't let my feelings lead me. Yeah. Okay, all right, we've been hunted. I don't want to be here right now. Can I go further? I ain't want to preach last Sunday either. But what point am I making to you? I don't live by my feelings. But guess what? I don't regret none of it. Right now, I'm happy I'm here. In this moment, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Sunday, I got a last minute call that morning. I got to go to city. Bishop need me to fill in. City, I got to make calls. I got to change I have zero regrets. Zero. Because what I've learned, when I do what's right, and I move by integrity, and I stick to commitment, my feelings will change. My feelings will catch up with my actions. I'm not going to let my actions follow my feelings. Who would go to work if you live like that? Who would make any money if that's how you live? So recognize it. I mean, just look at it from a different angle too. Now, I get it. The person don't want to be somewhere and everybody and their mama see it. That's a different story. I'm saying I'm getting ready to go and you the only one to see it right now. Give me enough credit that by the time we get out this car, at Mama Nam's. Hey, Mama, how you doing? Oh, bless you. You know we wasn't going to miss Denise's birthday party. Oh, you know we had to be here. It's so good to see you. I know how to act. Are you understanding what I'm saying, though? It's the premise. You don't want, listen, feelings are real, but they don't make good leaders. They don't make good leaders. So the next time, just also flip the coin over and look at that side. You know, if he really doesn't want to do this, just ask yourself, why is he doing it? Like, answer that question. Why? What does that say? If I know you don't want to, but you're doing it anyway because you know I want to, what does that say? Hey, men, we can't amen. We just grunt loud. Let me translate. Preach, Negro, preach. But no, let me tell you what I'm actually doing. Remember, I started this by saying by males, we need to learn female. Females, we need to learn male. I'm teaching you male. That's all I'm doing. I'm just translating what these things mean. And the same way we got to understand with female. Now, I get it. What the female saying, I want you to do it. And listen, we want to value family too. And that's why we're doing it. Because it means more. But this is where the disconnect comes. This is where the disconnect comes. Just naturally speaking, I never put everybody in the same boat. But naturally speaking, women are normally wired more emotional than us. So their emotional state speaks in greater volume. So when they see you don't feel like doing it. Now remember, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. It's like, Oh, you don't feel like. I know how it is when I don't feel like. Are you trying to say I'm torturing you? Is this torture for you? I'm making you miserable. I'm making. And that's how it's being translated. That's why they don't want you to go feeling that way, because they know when they're operating against their emotions, that's another degree. With a man, no, this is one where I'm taking one for the team. That's what it is. Yes, come on, question. We ain't got to wait till the end of this tonight. You can't question because I'm going to be running out of here anyway. Let them get the mic because we're still recording this, though. I want to get everything on the mic. So in case y'all didn't know it, questions have officially opened.
Isn't it like situational though? Like depending on like feelings, because like, okay, example, quick. I was in labor for 18 hours. I was tired. I was in the hospital for 3 days. And when I gave birth, her dad did not come over to my house to help me with her because he was tired. And I'm like this. You're tired. You're not thinking about the fact that I was in labor for 18 hours. They bother me all in the hospital. They bother her all in the hospital. Yeah. And I'm like, I haven't slept in practically 3 days. Yeah. And I'm like, but you're worried about your sleep. So you went home and went to sleep.
Yeah.
No,
here's the thing. It's the thing. And I know I only know a portion of the story. But for one, there's a lot of different factors. Because I don't know all of this personally, I'm giving you a very general answer. Number one, first general answer could be, what examples, and I'm not giving excuses. These are not justifications. They're potential explanations. Because you ask a question, I'm going to try to give an answer. It's harder for a man, especially a young man, I'm assuming, to operate in a capacity where he's never had a point of reference. Like, I remember, man, dealing with this one guy. Oh, it was so, what's the word? Exhausting. And this is why it was exhausting. This guy that I'm talking about is not a bad dude. But when I say this joker really didn't get it, he really didn't get it. Oh, was I supposed to go with her? Fool, yes! Like, he really didn't get it. Like, he never saw this. I thought that was her thing. I thought my thing was to go to work so I could make money to provide for them. He didn't understand emotional. I'll put it this way. He had no emotional intelligence. And that happens with a lot of men. A lot of men are not emotionally intelligent. They don't recognize that language. They don't read the room as to when, oh, this is an emotional situation. They are stuck in only logic. Like case in point, and I don't know the situation, so all this is hypothetical. Case in point, okay, baby's here. She's out where the baby's here. We're out of the woods. It's healthy. Okay. A lot of expenses about to come. I'm going to need to work a lot more hours. You know what? I need to go get some rest so that I can maybe get some overtime in this, because we're going to have to really, really knuckle down on how to be able to take care of them financially. So it makes sense for me to go get some rest so I can work more hours so that I can provide while she does this. And what I'm telling you, they can get caught up with only seeing that side of it, which is not an illogical side. It's just the non-consideration of the emotional side. And this is the biggest problem right here. I said everything I said tonight to get to the point I'm finna make right now. So I'll probably pick up here next week since I'm getting to the conclusion and finally getting to where I've been trying to go. This is why the need is absolutely critical for effective communication. Like, we gotta I'm just using a hypothetical example I did. Hey, babe, listen, I'm thinking about the situation. I'm tired. I know you're tired. And I'm really thinking about what this finna cost us. I was thinking I'm probably going to have to work some overtime next week. And I'm going to have to woo, 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 because we need this, this, and this. So I should probably go and get me some sleep so that I can put in this time so that I can make sure y'all straight. What do you think? Now, here is what you shouldn't do. Because this is what you want to do emotionally. Emotionally, you want to be like, are you serious? I know you didn't. You ain't here talking about work right now? Right now? You know what? That's what you want to do. Because you're seeing the world from your eyesight. What communication does, it helps you see what somebody else's world looks like in their mind. And when you snap on it, you're going to get less of it. Ooh, I just said something you missed. When you snap on that communication, you're going to get less of it. It's going to leave you more confused and in the dark. He just gave you how he's seeing the world. I'm not saying you just roll with it, but what you should do, you know what? Because this is how you keep communication going. You know what, babe? I see how you can see that because you're considering the financial aspect and da-da-da-da-da-da. I see exactly where you're coming from. But at this point in time right now, it's hard for me to think that because emotionally, I've never needed you more. And I know we got that, and you're right. But right now, I really need you here. And we just can you, if you can stay with me to da-da-da-da-da-da, and together we'll figure this out. Like, this the type of communication that needs to be happening. But it doesn't. The communication that happened, here's what normally happens. He just be like, hey, look, I'm going to holler at you, man, because I ain't had no sleep, and I got to go to work. He don't communicate all that I just told you that he's reasoned in his mind. He's thought all of that out. He don't tell you all of that. He just tell you, look, because men are a lot of bottom line. We just jump. Men often aren't into the details. Women are into the details. He just gave you the bottom line. He gave the conclusion he came to. He didn't give you his process of how he came to that conclusion, which leaves you in the dark. And problem number one. Now, problem number two gets enhanced because when you get this bottom line conclusion, you argument go right. What? I know you ain't. How in the world you go woo woo woo? Now what ends up happening? He's going to come back with a retaliation trying to justify his point without you still knowing his process of how he got to the point. What you think gonna happen when the baby get out? How we go this? How we go? And you what? Because now we're arguing bottom lines when we never even talked about process. I don't even know how you came to that conclusion. You don't know how I come to this one. So I think you crazy and you think I'm crazy. And the reason we calling each other crazy, because we hearing the result without even knowing the process of how you got there. This is what a breakdown happens. And because we are so different in how we're wired, communication is an absolute must. That is non-optional. You gotta know how. If you were to ask me, hey, Pastor, I'm having a lot of problems with relationships, and I just need to know if that's one thing that I could get better at to make my relationships better, what would it be? Learn to communicate. I know how to communicate. I talk a lot. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. Because my question to that, in the words of Dr. Phil, so how's that been working for you? If you've not been getting results, if you've been feeling like you're arguing a lot, you're being misunderstood a lot, you know what I'm saying? You're not on the same, people ain't on your level and ain't on the wavelength, it may be because no one's comprehending you. You have to become a better or more effective communicator. It ain't about communicating. It's about effective communication. Effective. Communication don't mean we agree. It means you're not misunderstanding me. Because in fact, it's simple things. You know, we are going to have to, my sugar is starting the book. We got to speed up that book on communication. We going to get that out. Hallelujah. Because I'm seeing this happen a lot with not knowing how. Let me give you this one. We've talked about it before, but let me give it again. One thing everybody in this room has to learn how to do, you got to learn how to make sandwiches. I'm talking verbal sandwiches. Both? That's funny. Here's what I mean by a verbal sandwich. When you want to say something to somebody that you know it may be a touchy subject, you know it may be something they really don't want to hear, you know it may be something that, you know, could be controversial or in the past hadn't went the right way, here's what you do. First, let me ask this question. If I gave you a seed, yeah, she got some seeds in her purse. She was sowing and reaping her. No, I'm playing. If I gave you a seed, and it's a good seed, I mean, this seed is a potent seed. It will produce a harvest. And you walk out of here, walk out of this church, look for a spot on the ground. You're like, oh, there goes some dirt. Take the seed out of your pocket and hold it in your hand. Release it and just drop it on the dirt. And just turn around and walk back in this church. How likely is that to produce a harvest? That's how most of us communicate. That's how 99% of the people in the population communicate to each other. And they wonder why it ain't getting no good results. Why it's not yielding a positive outcome. We say what we need to say and wondering why you ain't changing. Wondering why nothing's different. Why it's like you're not hearing me. Because you walked outside. Some of us don't even walk to the dirt. We just stop on the concrete and drop the seed. So what is a sandwich? Sandwich is bread, meat, bread. Bread represents praise. Because why? I need to get to the heart. You don't want to talk to somebody's head. You want what you're saying to get in their hearts. So you spend the time to get to the heart. It's equivalent to digging up the soil before you release the seed. You know what's just as important, if not more important, than what you say? How you start. Women, I want to help y'all right now. Watch this, watch this. Let me tell you the most ineffective way to communicate with a man. If it starts like this, we need to talk. I walk in the room like this. When you say we need to talk, I walk in the room like this. What's up? I'm already defensive. I'm ready to block whatever you're throwing because I'm scared. Real talk. Don't warn me. You're going to make me defensive. I'm nervous. It's going to sound like I'm lying and I ain't lying because I'm scared. Where you been? What you mean? I'm trying to think. Where have I been? Let me see. I stopped by 7-Eleven. You said you were there at 11:30. That's how I feel like you're talking to me. You know you done messed up, don't you? You know you done messed up, don't you? Here's how you start a conversation. If I want to tell my wife anything, your friend getting over my nerves, I don't want her coming over no more. Watch that. I'm sure something controversial. Your friend that got on my last nerve, I hope she never come over to this house again. I don't want her over here no more. How do you have that conversation without a fight? No, you can't. I'm finna show you. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Take notes. Get your pen and paper out. Here we go. Watch this. You know, babe, you know, one of the things I admire about you is how social you are. I mean, you have such great friendships and the way you cultivate them and you make people feel special. I've always admired that about you. I I think you're great at that. You know what's happening right now? And I'm talking about don't lie. Like maybe it's been something I really might. Her heart is open. Really? Her heart is open wide open. Look, it went from, oh, tell me more. She didn't, I'm digging up the dirt. I'm digging up the dirt. You know, and I think that's why so many people are drawn to you. Because you're so nice and kind to everyone. You know, I guess that's why it bothers me so much when I see people take your kindness for granted. Because you're such a good person. Like, I didn't say anything, but I was really upset by what so-and-so Mooka said the other night when she was over here and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da. And it's just real disrespectful. Like, it made me not even want to bring that energy into my house because you deserve so much better than that. Like, honestly, I wouldn't care if she never came back over here again because you deserve so much more. But all in all, I know people are drawn to you. And I just don't ever want to see you taking advantage because I love you. And you deserve only the best. Don't ever settle for less. But I know that you will, and you'll make the right decision because I know you're a good judge of character, and you will know how to count out who you need to count out versus who you can count on. So love you, baby. I'm finna run to the store. You want me to bring you something back? A good sandwich don't even need a response. A good sandwich don't even need a response. Why? Because, let me tell you the most effective communication. I appreciate it, brother. Here's the thing. The best part of communication is the good communication that's going on inside of their brain once you're gone. See, I'm gone. I'm on my way to the store. I'm bringing her back some jujubes. See what I'm saying? While I'm gone, she around the house like, I love that man. You know, Mookie was out of bounds, though. And she coming over here. I don't need nothing to mess this up. You know, I don't think I'm going to invite her over to the next gathering. This going on inside of her mind. I ain't even saying nothing no more. I'm done. Because I didn't tell her what you need to do it. I don't ever want to. That make you defensive. I didn't do nothing for making her defensive. I just planted a seed. Now I'm going to let it grow. Or not. No guarantees. But I do guarantee you that was more effective than if I came in her sideways. Now, here's what I get all the time when I talk about sandwiches. See, because you dig up the ground, then you plant the seed in it. But you don't leave it there. You take time to bring the dirt back over. Then you leave it there. Now, people will say, well, ain't nobody got time to be doing all that talking, but you got time to be fighting for a whole month. You got time to fight all week over the same thing, but you ain't got time to pray a little bit and let God help you make a good sandwich. Say, preacher, you good at that. You know how many years I've been practicing this? I ought to be good at it by now. How do you do that? How you do anything else? Practice, brother. But this ain't just for your relationship. This is how you talk to your boss. This is how you talk to them crazy people in your family. This is even how you talk to your kids when they think they're grown. How you can check them and keep them pushing. Be like, hey, listen here, Dimitri. Listen, Dimitri. You're so smart. You have such a brilliant mind. I mean, you're incredible. You're so gifted. That's why it obsesses me so much when you do something so idiotic. Because you're so much smarter than that. You're too brilliant to behave this way. You're great. So don't ever stoop down to people who's not on your level trying to humor them for their approval and their validation when they're not even going where you're going. Now don't ever let me hear you about you doing nothing that stupid again, as smart as you are. Now you get up from here and you be everything God ordained you to be, because I will not see you settle for less with your brilliant self. You think about that. I'm going to the kitchen. You want something to eat? Check your kid in a way that leaves him edified and not broken. Amen. I'm having a talk tonight. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. Last thing, I'm open for questions. Or any other questions before I jet. I just want to close on this note, and I'll pick up here next week. God, creator of the universe, our Heavenly Father, never did anything without communication. Come on. You won't show me one person in the Bible he used without communicating to him. You won't show me one thing he created without communication. I'm willing to make the argument communication is the most powerfulest force on this planet as it relates to the source. Because all things came from communication. What makes you so much in the image and likeness of God? He made you a spiritual communicator. You didn't hear what I just said. I need you to catch this right now. There's no other creation on earth that has the right to use words. Woo. Nothing else he created. Oh, they might communicate, but they don't use words. And I don't care how real you think Scooby-Doo is. Them ain't real words. No, you get what I'm saying. No other animal, except if God got in them, like we talk about the jackass in the Old Testament with Balaam. Because God, that's the power that was released. You have the ability to use words. Stop wasting them. Stop wasting them. Every man has a king in him, and he has a fool in him. Every woman has a queen in her, and she has a fool in her. The one you speak to grows. Are my words pulling out your king or your queen? Don't answer this out loud. Or do I keep waking up the fool? And the church said, amen. I'm going to start right now for offering at this time. It's offering time. We're going to get ready to go before God in the giving of our offering. We have Givelify right here on the whiteboard. We have Cash App that should be coming up on the screen. I don't remember what the Cash App is. So when it comes up on the screen, it comes up on the screen. If you need an envelope, raise your hand. Anybody else need an envelope, raise your hand. If not, Deacon Charles, see Brother John in there. You can put the Cash App on the screen. And again, you already know, this Hosea Collins Ministries. We're doing some things this fall. Send some kids to college in Jesus' name. Ain't that right, sugar? Amen. The Precious Scholarship Fund is in effect. Father, I thank you and I claim thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, oh God, to come in and overflow in excess to send multiple kids to school, oh God, to learn, to grow, and to fulfill the vision that you placed in Precious. In Jesus' name, amen. I claim that. Father, return 100-fold to every obedient heart that gives, oh God, in the name of Jesus. Amen. The way Givelify works, if you don't know, is Givelify. You go to Givelify.com. You look up the ministry in the search bar. You will look up Hosea Collins Ministries. You'll see my picture, emblem, or whatever pop up, and that's Givelify. You give that way. Everybody know how Cash App works. I'm going to try to memorize this when it comes on the screen because I don't know why I don't remember it. Say it. It's $ Hosea C Ministries. That is exactly what it is. $ Hosea C Ministries. Thank you, my brother. Any more questions from the floor? Going once? Bingo. Going twice? So rest on your feet. So thank you all. Father, bless us. Let your minister angels be encamped round about us, that no hurt, harm, or danger come nigh our dwelling until we meet again. We ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.